coming back. I would like you all to please join me in warmly welcoming our esteemed panelists to the stage. Um, Mr. Girija Rameshan Karthik, a PhD student at Spire Lab. Ms. Tanuka Bhattacharjee, a PhD student at Spire Lab. Ms. Shamishta Chakrabarti, a research associate at Spire Lab. Mr. Abhijit Singh, a research associate at Spire Lab. Mr. Pawan Kumar, a machine learning engineer at Art Park, who's also working with us at Spire Lab. And finally, Ms. Pooja VH, a project associate at Spire Lab.
Your stories are the soul of this lab.
Hi, all of you. Thanks for having me here. So my name is Pawan Kumar J. So I was part of the lab from 2019 2019 Feb 11th. So I'm now till here. So I was part of different roles in the lab. I started as project assistant for 1.5 years there, and then I was so impressed with all those classes going on and started taking every week sessions and all. So I wanted to join as a student. Then in 2022, I joined as MTech SP student, and I was under Prashanta Soma as my guide, and I completed MTech. And then I joined Art Park, which was an IISc startup. One of the projects called Vani project, which was again guided by Prashant Kumar Ghosh. So that's why. Thank you.
So, hi everyone, I'm Pooja. I joined Spire Lab in 2021. I graduated from RVC in signal processing domain. So, soon after that, I joined Spire Lab. So, now working as a project associate under Prasanta sir. Now working in TTS project like data collection, data cleaning, and data pre-processing. Thank you.
Hello everyone, so I'm Abhijit Singh, currently working as a research associate at Spire Lab. Before that, I was a research intern at Spire Lab. So I joined in 2019 and have been here since then. So currently my work revolves around understanding speech production using articulatory signals and speech recognition and text-to-speech synthesis. Congratulating everyone here on this 10th anniversary of Spire Lab. Yeah, thanks for having me.
Hello everyone, I am Shamishta Chakrabarti. I am a research associate in Spire Lab from 2020. Before that, I was associated with Sir, not in person. I joined officially in 2020, but I was associated from 2018, what I remember now. And I am a linguist. Before joining Spire Lab, I was working in Central Institute of Indian Languages, Mysore, for 13 years. And after that, I joined Spire Lab as a linguist, as a research associate. Thank you.
Good afternoon, everyone. I am Tanuka. I joined Spire Lab in 2019 August as a PhD student. So currently I am in my 6th year. I am working on the Desarthric speech processing project where Yamini ma'am is collaborating with us from Nimhans. Before joining PhD, I was in TCS research. I worked there for 2 years. Actually, while working there itself, I came to know Sir because he was a research advisor there. And after that, I joined in 2019 here. Thank you.
Am I audible? Yeah. Hi everyone, very good morning. Thank you for the kind introduction. For a moment, I thought they were calling the chief guests again on stage. I didn't think it was us, but yeah, thank you. And my name is Karthik. I am almost like a prehistoric rock in the lab. I am there almost from the beginning of when the lab was formed. I think in May 2015, the lab was formed. I joined in July 2000, yes. So I joined for my master's research, which I completed in around 2018. Then I continued for my PhD. Yeah, it's been a long time, but it was a very nice journey. Hoping to share more details regarding the same in the coming time. Thank you.
So, as you all know, our panelists today have been with us for a really long time. So, as our first question, we would like to ask you, how did you feel when you first got to know that you would be joining the Spire Lab family? The question is open to all. Whoever is comfortable can answer it.
You can talk about your initial impressions.
So at first I joined as a research intern. So this was my seventh sem at college, and I just applied to nearly 100 professors. So it was like my winter vacations were about 3 months, and I got a response from sir that yeah, you can come to IISc. So I was elated to hear about it, that I'll be working at IISc. And yeah, after joining, so I was surprised to see the dedication of the researchers currently working there. So my mentor at that time was Arvind Illa. He was a PhD student at that time, and yeah, obviously we were working with sir. So yeah, very that first experience was my internship period. So that was really like exciting, new research, yeah, new projects. That was fun to work with.
So for me, as I said, I already knew Sir before joining Spire Lab. So when we were in TCS research, he was our research advisor for 1 year. And those interactions, actually that time Achyut was working as an intern in TCS. So I worked with both of them. And those discussions and those collaborative works were really very interesting and very I was very how do I say I was kind of amazed by the work that they were doing here, and I kind of wanted to come to IISc. I kind of applied to IISc after knowing these things that Spire Lab is doing, and I wanted to get assigned to Spire Lab itself. But when I applied, and there is some initial allocations are done when PhD students go and interact with all the professors, and we give our choices, professors give their choices, and some matching has to be done. And there was some confusion that I may not get allocated to Spire Lab, but I really wanted that to happen. And when that happened, I was really happy to be a part of Spire Lab.
So I was telling someone 2-3 days back that faculty getting a PhD student is something like a, a, a girl is getting married to a boy. I'll tell you why. So you know what happens in the traditional way of this boy family goes to see the girl at house, right? And then the girl really dressed well, and there will be multiple boys, family who will come, and then you select one, isn't it? So you have to really impress. Now, this is precisely the case here. So, this, for example, we had even lately one PhD student. So, the student will actually go to various faculty members in the department, and you really have to impress. Otherwise, the student don't come to you, right? To impress with the kind of work you are doing, your group, and all of that, right? In spite of all of that, they will say, no, I'll not work. Then you remain empty-handed. So, but of course, there are certain structure, as Professor Uday Kumar said. There are some rules, norms to follow. But in Tanuka's case, I remember, as she rightly pointed out, it was, some critical calls I had to make with chairman. I remember I was dropping my son in KV in the middle of the road. I had to call up chairman, then call her up. Then, no, something is going on. There is a spot, there is a way. So you have to really do hard work to finally earn a PhD student.
just to add in that terms, I think in 2015, it's the same with master's research students as well. We are like short-term PhD students. So we had to go to each professor. So at that time, they called us much before the actual admission starts. So essentially in August 1st, I think the term starts, but we were called 2 weeks before in that year, so that we have time to explore the university, get to talk to professors and stuff like that, get accommodated in the institute. So we are going to different professors, talking to them, and I remember sir was showing us these cross-sectional images, mid-sagittal plane views, which many of you would have seen. And I think that's how he lured me into the lab. That's what I saw and got into. I was quite impressed, but turns out I never worked on any of those. Finally, I have mostly worked on something that has been kindly deviant from the general topics in the lab, but yeah, they were kind enough to take me to the W department. Also, he was also kind enough to take me as a student, not just for masters, but even for PhD. I did not join as a usual PhD student. I applied for continuation. That's another interesting story. I applied as the usual student as well. So I made if some of you already know, you have to make an application to the portal, right? You can make an application to 3 departments. So then I talked to sir, and sir, he was also very supportive. He didn't mind me going and looking for other opportunities. So only 3 departments are possible. So what if I have to apply for this? So we thought, okay, it might be a good idea to just go ahead and make another application for 3 more departments. So I did that, went ahead, gave the interviews. I think I got selected in W as well as EC. I did not know that yet, I think, but then these 2 department, I think, chairmen discussed, and somehow they realized that having 2 applications is not allowed, and all my admissions were cancelled. So the only saving grace was that I also applied through continuation. So since my interviews went well, they were happy to take me back into the department with sir, and that's how I was able to continue for my PhD. So yes, it was a very long and tedious process, but yeah, very lucky as well.
Thank you for sharing your experiences. Like you mentioned, everything was new for you guys. Sorry.
Sorry for this. So I have a question for you. What made you interested in speech? Because this whole thing is all about speech analysis and so many things. So what made you interested? So a lot of you are working in this area.
Hello. So if for me, personally, it would be like I started as B from ECE department, electronic communication, in Bangalore JSS. So once you start reading any of the DSPs, digital signal processing, and you figure out Fourier transforms and how the signals comes, and you split into different frequencies. And one of my projects were to actually build a filter bank for hearing aid purposes. So that was my BE project, and that gave me so much insights, and it was so beautiful to see signals going down, and so that was my go through the speech. Thank you.
I completed my master's in biomedical signal processing and instrumentation. So while doing my final year project, I was working in ECG signals. So I felt difficulty in voltage and taking and some instrument and all. And my ma'am said that it's like difficulty to take all the body signals like ECG, EMG, and other body signals. So on that time, I interested to work on biomedical signals. So here, as a project associate, I'm working on it.
So for me, it's the other way around, because I'm from a CS background, so I didn't have any experience in speech and signals, that kind of stuff. So when I joined in lab as an intern, so I was pretty new to all the things. So I worked initially with the MR signals, and it's estimation of at different speeds and estimation of MR from text, the linguistic part. So, so I learned about it, and gradually I learned what are the areas in this field which are lacking. So my approach was data driven, using machine learning and stuff about how to do these solve these problems basically. Yeah.
As you know, I am a linguist. So when I was doing my master's in linguistics, we used to have 10 papers. In that, out of 10 papers, I used to have one phonetics and phonology or psycholinguistics papers. Then my professor was teaching me all these things, psycholinguistics, basic psycholinguistics. Then I got interested in what is psycholinguistics, what is this brain and language relationship, and what is this language impairment. And luckily, I got a chance to work with CIL Mysore. There, I got trained in phonetics and phonology, and now I am in this line in this phonetics. I do transcription for all the languages, for all Indian languages. Thank you.
So for me, I used to work on biomedical signals only before this during my masters or during the work in TCS. So I was quite interested in this use of machine learning or artificial intelligence in the medical field. If we can make some applications which can actually help the patients in some assistive systems, or even we can help in the diagnosis system, so that I think will be a very great contribution. So from that point, I wanted to work in some biomedical signal, and here in sir's lab, these projects were very interesting, so I kind of joined.
Not a speech person, so wrong question to ask me. So I guess you can go ahead.
That was interesting. Seeing that all of you have worked quite a lot in speech, except you, sir. Our next question to you would be,
What's a project that taught you the most? Any key takeaways you still carry with you?
what's a project that taught you the most, and what are the key takeaways you got from the project?
So initially I was working with MR signals, and then I shifted to speech recognition, speech synthesis. So I guess this recognition and synthesis was for Indian languages. So we can derive all we have some. I can learn from all these projects, but yeah, it's hard to point one. So I guess in a brief time. Yeah, I guess.
Any one learning that you guys learned?
Like basically I'm from Karnataka. I know only Mysore Kannada, and after coming to this lab, I came to know that like so many dialects are there. So in that dialects are like so many variations are there. Like even like few South Indian like Kannada people, they ask some questions. On that time, even I forgot my Kannada. So that will be a like most like funniest moment.
That's a good one.
So, so as in the lab, it's more of languages and different dialects of languages and all. And as one of my passions was also to study history, that alongside communication signal processing and all. So if you see the history part, how like the pre-Vedic India towards the next India, the modern thing, you see the language also changes accordingly, and it's so if you go on to read their scripts and their the root words in each of those any words that will come up and their root words, and you link out each of the languages, it's so there's a beautiful gradient that you can picture of the entire India. That was what helped me in the lab, I see, to the language and how everything is connected to language.
Interesting.
Now, how would you describe yourselves in a team environment? How do you find your teams at Spire Lab? It need not be your team only, it can be inter-team interaction. Basically, how do you find the people at Spire Lab?
I have an interesting experience in Spire Lab regarding the one. So my PhD, when I joined as a project associate, I was under Chiranjeevi and was working on prosodic boundary classification given an utterance. So whether it's stress any intonation boundaries to detect. So I wanted to build a DNA based model. So Chiranjeevi sir was asking me to do some prior processing on the signals, like construct PCA and see that how the data is distributed, or the class imbalance are there, something those type of pre-processing should be done. So I was like, so at that time I was very new to what PCA and what ML models and all. So I remember exactly. So me I was my table was exactly to back of Chiranjeevi in between Karthik sir tables were there in the lab. So somehow Karthik sir actually hear this conversation with me and Chiranjeevi sir. Chiranjeevi sir was asking me to read on PC, understand it well. I was very new to it and I did not know what to do. So I was like, okay, I will try reading it on. And I went to washroom and somehow I even in there I met Karthik sir and he started asking, okay, this is what PCA is. Okay, try simply. It's a variance thing and maximizing variance. I was like, oh man, they are so they really want to help each other to grow and those things. Yeah, that was one of the interesting and very happy moment of it. And thank you for that.
Share us your achievements, milestones in your uh, tenure at Spire Lab.
We'll see how well each of you know each other. We would like each of you to tell what you think is an achievement the next person has achieved. We can start with Pawan telling the person to his right what achievement he thinks Pooja has achieved.
I think one of the achievements that I really adore is like, so this thought of writing a book on any of the things, like any topic, like maybe history, maybe a story or kadambari or something like that. So I know Sir and Pooja collaborated in writing a book on how your language, like the phonemes and how the articulative movements comes in, and those type of results are somehow one contributed by these two guys writing a book. That is one of the good achievement I feel.
It's fine if you don't know, we can have them answer. We'll know each of us.
Say about Sharmishta ma'am. So she's actually leading the Gyani project in our lab. So and handling too many those many people, team members, you have like to manage everything. And she complains about that she's a linguist and doesn't know anything about the technical stuff, but she actually does. Just wants to complain. So yeah, and like leading that project, it's an achievement in itself. So I guess yeah.
Good job, ma'am.
What I think about Tanuka's achievement is she has written so many papers in journals and articles. She has done that. So it's not that easy to write a paper or anything to publish. So I think that's the achievement for Tanuka.
Good job. Let's round of applause, please.
No, I think Karthik, so all of us are working on speech and Karthik's domain is slightly different. Those signal processing related were slightly different. So he as far as I have heard from him, he had to figure out a lot of things himself along with sir from during the tenure of his thesis, and he has managed to do that and has done some very good publications on top of that. So that is a very great achievement, I think.
Well, thank you, Pawan. I don't remember that, but I'm glad I could help you. And thank you, Tanuka, also for that. But I'm not sure specifically on people, but for example, one of the most difficult parts of our work in the lab, I would say, is definitely data collection. I mean, it's once you have the data, I mean, I think most of the works, at least in machine learning or whatever it is, once you have the data, you can apply whatever algorithm you want. And of course, there's work in that as well. But somehow the data collection part gets discounted, and also it doesn't get that recognition I believe it's supposed to get. And I think Tanuka has had to go to multiple hospitals as well, or one hospital, yeah, for so many recordings. Yeah, correct. So that part is quite tedious, and in fact, I tried data collection for one of my projects. It's not a speech project, but we were essentially trying to estimate the pose of hand movements from electrical tomographic measurements. Well, if anyone is interested about it, you can talk to me. And but yes, even for my own hand, when I collected data and tried to classify the hand movements, it was very difficult because slight movement of the wristband, the classification is going wrong. So you had to collect a lot of data, and not just for that, you have to do that for multiple people, and a lot of other aspects come into play. So yeah, that in turn is just not an achievement by one person, but I believe it's an achievement of the whole lab itself as such, which is helping us get much more funding and people to work together on it. So yeah, thank you.
That was lovely. Basically, yes, sir.
So on the data collection bit, informally we say that when the interns are coming to the lab, subjects, be ready to grab them. Okay. So now, each of you can say which data collection you have been a subject or speaker of, one by one, in the lab.
For me, for example, the EMA, a lot of people had to go through that. I mean, of course, some of them reluctantly, some of them enjoyed the process. I fortunately or unfortunately could not go through that process because I had braces, which was not allowed into the machine. So yes, I can say I was quite unhappy that I couldn't get that opportunity. But yes, but instead, there was another project where they were trying to estimate head movements when people were telling stories. So we had to recite some stories of like extempore, just prepare some stories and just start telling out the story. And there's a camera with markers placed on our head. And in the photo, it actually looks like there are pimples on our face, essentially the markers. But yes, that is one recording I had to do, and I didn't expect my photo with that image to go in a paper. Well, it's I did not personally enjoy how I looked in it, but yes, for the purpose of research, yes. But yes, that was one data collection I was part of.
I was actually part of the EMA data collection, and Sir was the person who put those sensors on me, and that data was collected. And apart from that, I have also given, I think, many of those listening tests done for Satvik, Jasuraj, those people.
But I remember that I have always worked for a Tanuka. I have
I also remember, I'm not sure how many of you know Shivani. She was involved in collecting many lung sounds from stethoscope and stuff like that. So during that process, there is one room in the first floor. It's also like a dark room. There we used to have multiple recordings as well. So I also went once to help her. We had one subject from another lab. It's a control. There is no patient or anything. So uh, he was asked to sit and take long breaths and stuff like that. He literally slept just sitting there. How could we tell that? Like when we are normally sitting, we just breathe normally, right? We hardly can listen. After some time, we are like, that long breath started. We were like, what? So we didn't disturb him. We got that data as well.
So I guess for me, there was one corpus which recorded the swallow sounds. So you place the stethoscope there and just swallow, and the sound is recorded. So I'm not sure about the corpus, what it's called, but yeah, that I have helped with. And there are like multiple speech corpuses like Spire Cs that I've contributed to. It's my own that I collected myself and like forced people to record. So yeah, those are the two that I remember right now.
So I collected 40 hours of data in Indian language from a proper voice artist in uh, IISc only, in recording room, like whatever they are talking, M. Arunda. So there only we collected. So like after that we started Santali language. It is a basically tribal language from Odisha and all. Because of some reasons it is stopped. So like in few days we will resume that. So and we are planning to collect one more language like Saurashtra language. It is also tribal language. So that will start soon. Thank you.
Yeah, I remember giving one of the first floors breathing with Shivani, that one of those recordings, and other was for Indian Kannada language I gave recording for Pooja, and I remember there was a project assistant was called Tejas. He was recording in one of the other departments. Which was again collaborated with Prashant sir, I guess. Some ECG or EG, I guess. That was one of the other recordings that I. Sorry, EMG. That was the other recording I gave.
Which recording you are subject of, not conducted the recording? No. Were you a subject or speaker?
Okay. Yeah. So I collected data also and I gave data also. I gave for Tanuk also for ALS, like for healthy person. So and huh. So then for English can I have? No, I guess. And for Noiphone and all, I gave for that. Huh. Noiphone I gave. Then for Tanuka's ALS I gave. And what else? That's all.
Okay, good. Thanks.
That's great, guys. This question was to shine some light on your achievements and what others think are your achievements. Uh, you can continue.
Sorry,
the
I
question.
interrupt again. I request all the lab people to please contribute your speech and voice because all of you are healthy controls and you fall within a certain range. You know that speech and voice is very age related, right? And it is also gender related. So that is where I think, please, just volunteer, whatever, and encourage your juniors as they come in, tell them the reasons why you want them to volunteer and ask them to give their best voice, so that it is a good control, a sample that you get. Because there's a whole lot of you here. So I think that's a large data, right, by itself. Thanks. We don't get such data.
So I wanted to share one memory. So initially, when I joined, so I met Thanuka and she gave some work related to ALS only. Since I'm from Karnataka, she gave contacts of ALS patients. So I called to patients and I talked, and they thought that I'm doctor. I said like what are the researchers is going, and because of this we are collecting data. I explained clearly, and they thought that I'm doctor, and they are telling, oh my like husband is like in this situation, please help, please save, like that. They said.
This is where one thing, I request all of you who deal with clinical data to, uphold ethics. This is very, very important. Okay, so they trust us and give us the data. So when we get back to them, it is important for us to tell them who we are, what we are, and the purpose why we are trying to connect with them. So this is very, very important and ethical. So if you look at we submit this entire protocol to our ethics at NIMHANS and they ask us a lot of questions. How are you going to have this data? So how are you going to save this data? So are others going to be aware of it? So a lot of things that about the storage of data. So please follow ethics. This is another thing that I would like to, the human ethics, please do follow. Thank you. And one interesting thing what I would like to add is just a minute. You did some work in the area of languages. So my master's level dissertation was looking at fluency in children. All of you have heard about stammering, right? That is the general term, and the other word is stuttering, right? Which we all use. So in fact, I had to go to CIL, Institute of Linguistics, and I asked them. Now there is a very interesting thing. What happens when we speak Kannada? We kind of, do not complete the whole word, right? Nan hog bartini. But when you write as hogi bartini. So in speech, it is going to be different when compared to writing. So that is where speech is very different. Analysis also is going to be different. So I had to consult them. So I said, how am I going to account for it? So then they had an advice to me. They said, you use the word utterance and not a word. It doesn't become a word because the word is by itself complete. But here, when we are talking, I kind of cut it down, okay, because of the co-articulatory effect. So, a lot of these things I think is very interesting in speech. Thank you. Just wanted to share these thoughts that came up when you said about CIL. Thanks.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you, guys. The former question was to shine some light on your achievements and what other consider your achievements are. Not just them, a lot of you have also played a huge role in their achievements and other achievements. So I would like all of you to give yourselves a round of an applause. Also, I think we're really bumming the crowd out with these tech science related questions. So I would like to turn up the pace and ask you something fun, especially to this side of the crowd of the panel. My question to you would be, if you could run Spire Lab for one day, what would you change and how would it be?
See, first, no. No, because I know who works and who doesn't work. So what I will, the the kind of work I'll assign to them is, I'll ask them to, because they are not working. Okay, there is no progress for those who don't work. So what I'll do is, I'll ask them to present, to give lab talk every week in front of Karthik. then only they, then only they will realize that doing project work is easier than giving lab talk in front of Karthik.
Conference. Any of you have different answers? Something interesting?
Went to conference, you're alone, you're with the only lab members. How would you change?
How is the atmosphere when Sir has gone out for a conference? How is Spire Lab then? VS when Sir is in the lab?
For me, I don't see such a difference when he's out or he's in. For me, the other thing what I would have suggested is add another room, Spire 2, so that there'll be much more space inside the lab now. So that's the only solution.
Okay.
When Sir goes to conference, like there has been this pre-COVID era, right? I kind of remember. At that time, I think everyone had to come to the lab. So every day, everyone used to be there. It used to be all crowded and all those things. And when the conference comes, Sir and maybe some of the people who participate in the conference go. And when I come to the lab, or anyone comes to the lab, there's hardly anyone. It's just empty. For that whole week, when the conference is there, no one comes to the lab. They're just having fun. That's essentially what happens.
So Karthik talked about pre-COVID. So post-COVID, I guess Sir's digital imprint has been like very huge, and it's like WhatsApp, G Meets, everything. So you can't hide from him now.
So, okay. Now for our next question. Our question would be on our professor. What's your perspective? What's your POV on him? And how do you feel working under him? Does he put a lot of pressure? Is he nice? Sir only wanted us to ask that question.
So, so the most impressive thing about sir that I have observed is like his dedication to work, and like I'm really inspired by that. So I think I try to be as dedicated, but I don't think I'll ever be. So that's one thing I like really like about sir. So
Just to add to that, like earlier when everyone was coming to the lab and all those things, we have never seen him not work, or he's always so this is how his usual routine is. He, as far as I remember, I'm not sure exactly, but he used to be always locked inside his lab, always having some or the other kind of meeting. The only time he used to get out of there was to run, not just walk, with his bottle, run to get water, maybe go to washroom and immediately run back. If you get to meet him in that period, maybe you have some discussion with him. Otherwise, again, you have to wait for him to again run out to get water. So, but I'm not sure how he does it. Like we have never seen him not work, and that kind of dedication, frankly, I have not seen for anyone else in the lab. But yes, that somehow he just does it.
I'll just add one thing to that, sir is handling so many projects, so many meetings, and so many students are interacting with him regularly, and we sometimes ask so stupid doubts, so I mean naive questions, but he always take the complete effort to make us understand. He has never felt make us feel like we don't know the stuff, so he has always encouraged our ideas, encouraged our way of working. So that I feel is a really great quality as a guide.
Yeah, yeah, that is true. Like I don't like. I'm not sure how you feel. I sometimes might feel that I feel there's a lot of work, but that is not something we have ever seen with sir. I don't think there's a concept called this. This is too much work. No, it's always there is always something more he can do. And as she pointed out, I think irrespective of what doubt you have or anything, he he'll somehow find time to interact with you and explain that thing to you. He'll sit with you, irrespective of what your doubt is, irrespective of what you want to talk about. Maybe he won't be able to talk with you at that point of time, but he will make sure he finds time for it and he will definitely discuss that with you, irrespective of what it is or who it is. No discrimination in that respect. That's really great to have. And yes, of course.
Yeah, as all said, sir has huge number of projects going on, and along with that, he'll be handling MTech course projects and MTech research guides and all those things. The one thing that I noted is like even in all those so many projects under him, he'll be so into so detail. So let's say one of the previous presentation, I would have suggested some graph, and I myself will have forgot the next week that I showed that graph, and he'll be like, okay, did you compare with the previous results? What was the continuous? Like with all these things, I myself forget with handling only single project that I work on, and he'll be like handling so many projects and in such a detail. That's remarkable, I guess. That's the thing.
thank you. Now we
One
got
more,
to know how. Okay.
one more thing I
Yeah.
will add you one simple. So like sir is so simple. Like one day, like after COVID, he said to start recording from that MR room. So it was like so dusty, and sir called to start recording one like after a week. So sir said, like, I informed sir, the recording room is like very dusty and also let staff like cleaning staff clean. Like I will inform to clean and all. Like I said, then sir said like why to inform then? Let we only both can clean like that. He said. I thought like inside my mind like why I have to clean that recording room like that. I thought and so he said to come on Diwali day to clean recording room. I thought like why on Diwali day to clean? Then I informed to sir that okay, I will come. So because of some work, I went to temple. It seems. So I said, sir, I'm not coming today. So let's clean tomorrow. So tomorrow I came to lab and he said, okay, I only clean the lab, the room. So it's very simple. So I learned that from him, and he's so workaholic, so down to earth. So like we are learning that. Thank you.
Thank you.
So I want to add something here. Um, so one, again, learning from elders, uh, and that I'm realizing now. Some of our senior faculty members, when I did PhD as well as here, they say that academics, if you're a faculty, um, then you are ever young. Probably many of you know what I'm talking about. You always interact with young people, right? That's number one. And then you also get to know a large number of people, interact with so many people, so many students in particular, right? So I have learned a lot from many of these students, various good things that I've tried to imbibe and improve myself. And um from the point of view of being punctual, from the being of from the point of view of being taking care of others in a group. I gave some examples in the morning, many things. So that's a learning for me and scope for improving myself. So I hope to do that and continue to do that and make myself a better person.
Well, thank you, sir. We got to know how present the sir's interaction is with others. Now it's time for you. If a high-spirited intern or some other person who is joining Spire Lab is coming to the lab, how would you ask them? How would you sell them to join the Spire Lab? Was my question clear? Yes.
I don't think we need to do that. Our website with all the work that is happening that will do the advertising.
Shout out to Bhargavi ma'am. But there must be something that you would give, right? Some personal experience. If you saw a very hopeful intern right outside Spire Lab, not like you would just be like, okay, something, anything? No? Words of advice, good or bad, so I was not listening. It's
Yeah, one thing that I can add to that is like he encourages the interns and also projects into cities his own class, along with all the MTechs, the PhDs, and that's a beautiful thing to see how classes in IISc goes, and that can inspire everyone to join or something to join to the research field or those type of things. So that's one additional benefit you get
okay.
with joining Spire Lab.
Next question. So, how many of you celebrated your birthdays in lab? Just a general thought. It can be sir's birthday also. How many of you know? How many of all of you know when sir's birthday is? Genuine question. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, how many of you have celebrated your birthdays in Spire Lab? How many of you have celebrated your birthdays in Spire Lab? Never?
I think recently one time I celebrated, like last month.
Last year? None
Only
of
one time.
the others?
For 4 years.
Okay, so this is something we really got to improve on, guys. Okay, so what was your best memory on that day? How did Spire Lab make your birthday better?
Like on that day, I was so curious about Saurabh's questions. But on that day he didn't ask much questions. I was ready to answer to his questions, but unfortunately he didn't ask so many questions. So thank you, Saurabh.
Saurabh
He's the
will
only
come prepared.
person he asked most difficult questions to everyone, including sir also.
He will come prepared next time, hopefully. Okay, so all of you are from different cultures. How has Spire Lab made you feel at home?
As I was doing my homework for the talk, I was looking at all the previous birthday pictures. I don't know if this is tradition or not, but I see 2015 around on the birthday cake there are 5 candles. Now it has become 1 candle. Is there a reason anybody knows that reducing the number of candles? Just curious. I saw the pictures.
Sir, increase in tax.
Huh? Sorry?
Increase in tax.
But or you don't to give your energy to blow the candle, those many candles out. The reason is by the time you blow 1 candle, the other pops up. So you keep on struggling. That's the fun. Anyway. Okay.
We'll add 5 candles next birthday. Back to the question. How does Spire Lab make you feel at home? And if it does not, how do you think we can improve on that? Second home from everyone.
Yeah,
All
because
of you moved from a very far place.
Yes.
All of you moved from far places, right? So you feel homesick a lot. So how can you make your second home feel more homely?
Second home in the sense because we are spending our 8 to 10 hours in the lab. That is why I'm telling that it's a second home. Otherwise,
You don't work at home.
I don't work at home.
Is there anything we can improve as Spire family to make?
Enough improvement, no need of any more.
No?
We actually celebrate New Year, Durga Puja, and what other functions? From past 2 years, we are celebrating Durga Puja also, and Holi. Holi we celebrated in TMC ground. Yeah, whatever it is from IISc, we will participate Holi, Rhapsody and all. So that will be a fun.
That's all? That was great. I think you've heard a lot from us. We would like to have the audience to feel free to ask our panelists whatever you want. Anybody? Nobody? I will start pointing at people if nobody asks. Starting with Shreya. I sent on group. No. Sample questions. Yes. He told you to enter. Can we have the mic? Mic. Can we have other 2 mics? Yeah.
Hello everyone. I'm new in the lab, new member. So when I came here, mostly I sit in the lobby. I think you all see me in the lobby. So I want to ask one question. If someone's newcome like me, you all are very cooperative to help me if I have been any problem, anything. And Dikshita ma'am also helped me many times. So if new member came, I think this is the one of the lab which I think welcomes you very warmly that I see in the lab. And I'm not from the background. I have a non-tech background. I'm a BCom student. But here I learned more the things like how tech works and the different forms of languages because it's a new from me. I think first I met sir on I think sir 2021 when I worked from home. After that my brother also working with sir. Then sir I told to the sir I am free. The sir said ki, yeah you come here we can have to do something. So my question is that when you are working in a speech and all the things, so at first, what is the main thing that interesting that the part for you when you are working on a speech? What is your motivation mostly? Because I saw the ma'am seeing some patients and all the things. Sometimes it, as a human, it seems like many things sad for that because when the patients' families are there, so they ask many questions like how, what about our patients and all the things. So how, ma'am, also for you, how you handle that situations at that time? Thank you.
So that is very important. That's where the family understands the nature of the speech problem, the possible progression of the disease if at all it is going to be there, or how it can be managed. So it has to be dealt with, whatever it is, with very firmly, and so that the quality of life of that person with speech impairment is definitely better. So we all work towards that ultimately, right? So when he goes back home, he must have some kind of a satisfaction of having seen a clinician. So that's the main background that we work with, right?
Changes in the lab, since I've been around for almost 10 years, it's one thing is how do I remember the progression, but yes. So I joined the lab at a time when something was missing from our hostels. Can you guess what that was? Any of you? I think that, sorry? Yes. So I joined in 2015 and there was no Wi-Fi in hostels. In fact, Wi-Fi was a very new concept which happened only because COVID came and people had to work from their rooms. So that's when they installed Wi-Fi in the hostels. Otherwise, no one had access to Wi-Fi. So what does that mean? That meant that all of us, if we had to work, we had to go to the labs. Which meant we had to go to the labs. Everyone was there. Everyone interacted with each other. We had, so much of fun discussions. I still remember the old members. Chiranjeevi, Aravind Achut, Nisha, etc. And later Shivani came, so many of them. So we used to go from there together for lunch. And that was another area where we used to just, while walking, we are sitting there, we used to discuss multiple things from technical as well as personal stuff. So that was, I would say, like a golden era in terms of not just students, but even in terms of the interns that were there. The lab was mostly vibrant all the time, mostly before Corona and stuff like that. In fact, I joined at a time even when Geo was not there. We used to pay around 256 rupees for 1 GB per month, not each day, per month. That was the state. So we had to go to the labs. And about entertainment, how would you get movies then? So, all the systems in IISc are connected through a shared internet. So there are these some people who have these, log of movies stored in their system. So in internet, we could just share, download, take it to our laptops and then watch and stuff like that. So yeah, there was a lot of things that now I think since Wi-Fi is there in hostels, no one actually needs to go to the lab as such if they have to work or anything like that. In fact, now I mostly work from home because internet is there. Right? Sorry, that Cisco VPN is there. So yeah, lab has changed over time as such by a lot. And one more thing was lab talks. Yeah, I do have the reputation for asking too many questions during the lab talks. But yes, lab talks in some sense. In fact, Nowadays, sir doesn't attend, and I feel that is one of the reason none of us attend. But earlier, most of the lab talks, he used to be there in person, and it was even recorded in video. There was a person to specifically manage it. Everyone used to be there, and everyone used to ask their questions, and it was a very good discussion to have. And what was important there was that is how I actually learned a lot of things, not just about the projects in the lab, but also about a lot of other things. So because when people get to talk about their work in the lab, we get to know about a lot more of other things that we do not know. Then we talk about it, then we might get certain doubts on topics that we might be using in our work, but then we know they're already using it. So a lot of discussions like that used to happen. So even if I was not personally working in speech, if someone asked me details about some work in the lab, I should be able to give reasonable information to most of them because I have been interacting with people and learned a lot about that over time. Unfortunately, after COVID, mostly, and it's understandable because people don't have a reference of how it used to be. And also, it's definitely if Sir attends, all of you will be there in the lab. But yeah, that's how it has changed over time.
Actually, to add to that lab talk part, I remember when we first, let's say for when we join, we have to do our coursework for first few months, right? One semester or two semester. So only one thing that was connected to lab was every week we go for these lab talks and we meet all the people, we see what all works are happening. And sir used to be there, and I remember one day we had some exam, whoever were new joinees, me and some mtech persons were there, and there was some exam and we didn't go, and we were just preparing for the exam. It was just after the lab talk, and we received a mail from sir that why you didn't attend it. So it was to that level, I mean, dedicated things happening. Now we don't attend many of the talks, but it was that kind of custom every week that time.
So you have something to say?
So, talking about this pre-COVID, post-COVID, scenario that has happened in the lab, I just recently, last week was few days back, that there was a article on Intel firing a large number of people, and the CEO wrote a really long letter to each employee of the company. And one line so they had I think 2 or 3 days in person, in office working policy, and now he wants to increase it because he believes, this is what I'm reading from his statement, when we spend time together in person, unlike online and stuff, it fosters more engaging and productive discussion and debate. It drives better and faster decision making, and it strengthens our connection with colleagues. So what has happened, as Karthik rightly pointed out, uh, before COVID, um, we were more, in-person meeting, but COVID had started as a tradition of, or a style of meeting online, and that's a comfort we get. And we used to do that even classrooms. We are taking classes in online mode, uh, that we have now reduced. In fact, I must say I see a striking difference in the intern in particular. Interns are now asking that, is as if online internship is a common thing. Why you are asking me to go and do an in-person internship, so that, I think culture has changed in a sense. But, and that is also in our projects, and many people are also currently working remotely for various reasons, some projects, not all, and that requires an online interaction as well. But I also agree with this. I've seen, we have seen the difference, as Karthik rightly pointed out. So sometimes it's difficult to bring, for example, as Jivan was mentioning, we have to have someone in, let's say, UP working locally, because you're collecting data from that region, right? So that person has to be there to make it happen. So in those cases are exception, but other than that, uh, in-person meeting is good. But now also one more thing I observe is that, and that is kind of connected to my question to all of you that will in few 2-3 minutes, is that we have a decline in the number of research students in the group, which is worrisome. For example, as Karthik pointed out, in 2017-18 we had 5-6, right? And for example, Amartya was telling that day that my advisor at USC, we met him in the conference in Hyderabad a few weeks back. He had 18 PhD students in the group, 1-8. So if there are 18 PhD students who are working on various topics and in one place, it's a different environment altogether, because they are technically committed in a sense to their problem, and they discuss and learn and improve themselves, right? And that culture has gone down in the lab because of this reduction in the number of research students, I would say, in the lab. And this is not in the lab. In general, it's a concern in the institute, in the department altogether, and we are facing that. So I will actually put that as a question here to the current long-standing members, semi-long-standing members of the lab. What is your suggestion on help solve the problem? Like that, can you think of ideas? So, stop. Here from you. So actually, this requires, if we can't think for our lab, then who will think, right? So I'm asking for ideas. This is something that we can do within our scope. One idea I just floated, that's I'm thinking. Whether that is good, bad, you can also comment on that. Whether you believe, because you have seen from your area, which region you come from, which college you come from, do you think it will make a difference today for somebody to get motivated that say, well, I don't have scope today to go abroad. Probably I'm not aware of the program here, or maybe I'm aware of program, but I'm still not interested to do this. How do you, in a sense, take the activities of Spire Lab to, places they may not have heard of? Can we inspire them? All of that I'm thinking.
I guess maybe showcasing whatever problems we have, because we have lots of problems, like very interesting problems to be solved. So maybe showcasing those problems and getting attention of students who want to work in this field, and that could be one of the things.
How will you do that?
You said just going to colleges and stuff and having talks about the problems that you're currently working on, showcasing whatever problems that are like unsolved, and
I guess we could do better on improving our online presence, because I've seen like even a small lab in foreign university, they advertise their work much better than we do. So I think we could improve on that front, because nowadays digital presence is like more important than going to one particular college and giving talk there.
Also in terms of online presence, rather than going there, because right now mostly it's online, maybe if possible, we are, as a lab, since we are working on many problems, we could periodically post some kind of challenges to just the colleges where students can participate and get to know what we are individually working on in the lab. So let's say some project on the speech or anything like that. Some kind of challenge as to like coding challenges that happen on different platforms. We ourselves can just organize maybe twice or thrice in a year so that people get to know what's happening in the lab. They can also solve the problem. They can post their responses as well as to this is how we would approach the problem. And based on that, I think we also get many responses. We can also see, okay, these people might be suitable. We can give them an invitation to probably come and interact with the lab members or have an online interaction. Maybe that might also give exposure to people with the lab and get more people for the lab as well.
I think sir is looking for a long-term commitment with the lab. Only PhD students can give that kind of a commitment. This kind of challenge will give students, but they are of internship kind of, because nowadays every year students, BTech students will have such opportunities to go and interact with some companies or somewhere, so that they have a small exposure with something. But sir is looking for long internships. But my suggestion is like, for example, in Kerala, people are dedicated for doing PhD for their academics or for their higher or job options also. But for them, some staff will say like, go and find a research topic. If you are interested, you can continue. They will just be there as a guide in their degree certificate today. The student has to go and find some problem and they have to. So such kind of people who are really searching for some collaboration or something like that, we can have a tie-up with them, so that you will be a co-guide or something like that. Anyway, they will get some funding or something from there itself, but you will be a co-author or co-guide. They will get the degree certificate finally from them, but they will work or they will dedicate their time for the lab. Maybe that's an option. But how to reach them, that we have to showcase. But instead of getting interns, that for a short span of time, we have to hunt for PhD students. That may be an option.
Yeah, since Dikshita has mentioned about this right now, I should also thank you for the status that you put on WhatsApp, because of which I think I got my internship in Samsung. Otherwise, I would not have been aware that they are hosting an internship like that. So it was a 6 months internship. But once again, thank you. So that was also one of the reason I was mentioning that if we have someone posting it across any kind of challenge or whatever it is, so once they get to know what is happening in the lab, even if it is as a challenge or whatever it is, then they have the opportunity to know, and in case if needed, apply to the lab as well. So that will help them get that opportunity to at least know. Like, I did not know. So since you posted that, I came to know about the opportunity. I got to go there, and because of which I got funded for some time as well, quite well. So that was quite good. So yeah, something on similar lines might be really helpful.
Yeah, I think that's a couple of ideas. That's good. But solving, so there are two, three things, right? So first is that you, what Dikshita says is not that they have to crack IISc process of selection. It is more like a co-advisory role. Then the other thing is really making more people interested to apply, and that number itself going up, so that there is a decreasing trend even there. So number and quality and quantity both is going down. So how do you improve that from our effort, from what we can do, right? So talk and challenge is two things we sort of summarize in that track. And Dikshita's idea was the other track. So any other ideas? Okay, that's fine. So back to.
Well,
Just one more thing, since you were asking about how will you lure interns into the lab, right? One thing would be traveling abroad. It is, at least earlier, it was kind of like a dream for most people. And when I joined IISc, I didn't think that I was joining with an intent of going abroad or anything like that. But I did travel abroad at least twice during my masters. And that was because I got a publication. And I think being in our lab, if you have a publication, you are most likely going to get a chance to go abroad. So if that can lure them in, yes, that works. Come to the lab, get a publication, ask sir, he might send you to the country that you might be wanting to go to.
Thank you for that encouragement. For our next question, like Sir mentioned, you guys are long-standing members of the lab. So, what is something about you that our lab members don't know?
I think they should tell us that.
No, no hidden talent, hobby.
So basically, I'm an athlete. So recently in Rhapsody, I won second prize in marathon. So our lab members recently came to know that I'm an athlete.
Do we have any other athletes or sports persons on our panel? No? Okay, before ending this, do any of you have any questions for our professor?
I have one question. Not only, like almost everyone have. So like sir, usually he don't allow clinic staff to clean his room. So like even cleaning staff, they will ask like why your professor they don't allow us to clean. So what is the reason? Like is there any reason? If yes, what is that reason?
So whatever is not in the lab, it's in my office. So they just become a dump yard. Okay. So we have to really, so as was brought out, we need space. That is what it is, occupying my space. So you can see that most of the meetings I do in the meeting room, right? So that's the main reason.
Like everyone wants to see your chamber. Like they will ask like, what is there inside? Like I used.
That is interesting. Okay, fine. So it has become a museum now. So you can all come and visit.
I have one more last question. So like, how you manage lab work and like personal work? Like how you manage your family and the lab work? So like you are so workaholic.
This
busy.
is like Chat GPT. If you ask, what are the top few questions to ask a faculty? This will come up in one of those. So the answer is lies in I do my best in both cases. So in both fronts, whatever is needed and to be done based on my judgment, I give time and do that.
So again, this is from almost from everyone. So whenever we text you or whenever we mail to you, you will reply like very soon. For example, if we text around 1 a.m., you will reply around 4 a.m. You will reply around 10 p.m. You will reply like irrespective of the time. You will reply like you will reply very soon. Like when will you like how many hours you sleep?
This is also, I think, ChatGPT question. So first of all, the data is wrong. I don't think I reply
Like you can ask everyone.
No, 4 a.m. certainly not. I don't think I am awake at 4 a.m. Yes, that could be a time. But yeah, I mean, maybe up to 12, 12:30, yes. But in some cases, yesterday, I had to do my homework, so I was awake. So I was responding, right? But otherwise, typically 12 to 6, 7 is when I'll sleep. That's the regular.
Sir, what is your experience working with us?
It's fabulous because, as I already mentioned, right, that I have learned so much.
No, each
from-
of us. Not
Then I have to write a book, right? For each of you, it will become a novel by itself, and it will become a book. But I think overall, uh, the experience is that there are, some of you who are super excited by yourself or proactive, and that's really good. Some of you that you have to push uh, as a group to make it happen, and in some cases that improves, and that's also good. And some of them require a lot more push, right? So these are the three categories in general. But overall, given the outcome with both pros and cons, I mean pluses and minuses, we have discussed already. Overall, I would say it's a both productive as well as learning experience for me.
Do you see any improvement from the day of joining?
Improvement in?
From the day of joining?
For each, yes, of course. I mean, this I mentioned almost in every gathering that, or even graduation, right? The person who enters the lab and the person who exists, the same person exiting the lab, they are different. So that is, I think, the contribution from lab, department, IISc, and that is really pleasing to see. Okay, then I should be on the, okay, fine, please go ahead.
After joining this Spire, I have been into the multiple groups. And now assuming you that in how many WhatsApp groups you might be added, as because you're doing multiple of things. So when suddenly we see that you ping a message which has been sent 3-4 months before, and you reply on that, what is the status of this? So how you manages all the chats, not upon the WhatsApp, you like keep on tracking the mails also. So how, as because I have worked before this on 24/7 setup, so it was totally like a tedious task for us to like to manage the things, how the things are going on. But like coming on to it, like you have seen the black and white phone also and the smartphone also. So upon this transitions also, like how are you able to manage all the text that nothing is being missed? What as far I have believed that you haven't missed a single point at any point of time. So how you're able to doing this, and one of my personal experience, I think everyone has seen sir's two side, when sir wears t-shirt and sir wears shirt. So when first time I met with sir, it was in Nehru Palace, Delhi. So I told like sir is punctual at time. So I was at like Faridabad. So sir texted me that I'm moving. Where are you? And I just started running in there, and we met at Nehru Palace. So I thought he's a student. He's not at all professional at all. So I told, hello Prashanta, how are you? How the things are going on? The question what I asked him, it was, are you married or not? You remember what I think. Are you married? Then he thought that how can you think that I'm married or not? I thought that you look too young, you look too energetic, and that shows that no one is eating up your head, and you are looking too much energetic. Then he said that no, I'm married, and when he was his second avatar, when he's in t-shirt, no one can believe that sir is married and sir is a professor at all. So has this experience, like what I felt, has happened with you when you were wearing t-shirts and all, that pink t-shirt which you usually wear?
I think many of that I take with compliments. But this is like observation, maybe from you, maybe from many, but I never even put myself in that position to think about observing myself in t-shirt or shirt, married, unmarried, there's correlation, right? So that I don't do. But to answer your question, I think just thinking aloud and trying to answer aloud here, it's more about, I think, sort of commitment, right? So if I have taken up something to do and I know that this has to be done, then it is somewhere in my head. So at some point or the other, this will come back if you are sort of connected to it, committed to it. And that's why that the observation that you say that even if it's the old thread, that's come back because it happens. But of course, I miss sometimes also, right? But fundamentally, I try to see whatever are the threads that are going on, whether I am in them and I am moving them, because it is me who has to take that forward, right? So from that point of view, I suppose that will happen. No, I'm not in 506. That's again wrong data point. I have to count actually how many groups I am in. So it should not be three digits, right? That will be too much. Uh, but I think it's about, when you are taking us something with commitment, you will have a different connection to it, right? I think that's the core, is what I feel personally. But if I don't care about something, then I'll not, get back to that. Back to you.
Thank you. Do any of our chief guests have any questions for our professor? Especially you, sir. We would like to hear a lot from you since you're a very dear friend of our professor.
Okay, first of all, congratulations to the Spire Lab members on the occasion of the 10th anniversary. I think it's a great occasion. So how many of you know that Prashanta and I have been students at IISc for a very long time? Yeah. Okay. So I think our friendship goes back to 2004 January. Yeah, it's about 20 years, more than 20 years. So Prashanta was an MTech research student. Those days it was called MSc Engineering. And I was a PhD student, and we were in the same lab, in speech lab in EC department. So TV Srinivas was the professor in charge there. He was guiding us. And I think like all of you or several of you have already noticed, Prashanta is quite energetic. And we would always have late night discussions, post dinner discussions. So he'd come to my office. I had a separate little cubicle in EC department, even as a PhD student, and he would come there for discussions. This would be post 9:30, after dinner. Go to the mess, have dinner, and then come. And those discussions would go on for like 1.5 hours. This would all be like very core technical stuff. And Prashanta also has a philosophical angle to things. Some things is very principled. He has a. So those days we used to make a parallel between Prashanto and Vivekananda. Okay, so I think that was the kind of idealism he had. I think he still continues to hold that. So that is something. And very happy to see that he joined back as faculty in the E department. So I joined back. So I was there in EC from 1999 to 2004 for my PhD, Masters and PhD. Then 2005 I was with the startup of our advisor. 2006 to 2009 I was on my postdoc. In 2009 I joined back E department as faculty. And you were Inspire faculty from 13 Jan to 14 August, and then you joined as a regular faculty member. Okay, so Prashanta always had this characteristic hero bicycle. Is it still there? Okay, so he was always on a bicycle, and I don't know if you realize he's always on foot. So anywhere on campus, he's always on foot. He still doesn't drive. I think after a lot of convincing, I could get him to drink coffee once in a while, but even that was a challenge, right? But there are a couple of remarkable personality traits. If I have to pick one faculty member from the department with whom I would like to work, let's say there is a conference, we'd like to organize a conference. Let's say there's an exam, we have to conduct an exam, or if there's any event. And if I have to pick one faculty member from the institute, okay, and definitely in the department, the first person I would ask is Prashanto, because. So I'm not saying this because he's here in front of me, but I'm saying this out of total conviction. The first person I would approach is Prashanto, and if Prashanto says no, then I have a really hard time. And I think in 10 out of 10 cases, he has never said no. Okay, in almost all cases, I think every time I approached him for help, he has always said yes. And there is a reason why I would go to Prashanto first and not to somebody else. I think if he accepts to do something, the commitment that he will have towards that is unparalleled. I don't think you will see that in any other faculty member. And you know, InterSpeech 2018, we were together here in the organization of InterSpeech 2018, and again recently IISc 2025. There are no faculty heirs. We would both roll up our sleeves and work like students. And I think we used to do that as students, and again in the organization of InterSpeech, and again in the organization of ICAS. So greatly enjoyed working with him. I'm sure his students would have a great time working with him. Because I don't think he has this professor-student relationship. He'd work with you like a peer, or a colleague, like any other member in the lab. Okay. I thought the reason why he would not let anybody else clean his room, I thought he would give a different answer. I mean, he's so principled. I would not be surprised if he said, "My room, I will clean it myself." I would not let anybody else clean it. Yeah. So these are the things that I had to share about Prashanta, and wish all Spire Lab members a great journey going ahead. I'm sure labs, people come, people leave, people graduate, move on to higher positions and so on. But I'm sure you'll all want to come back and visit Prashanto, visit the lab when you're in Bangalore. All the best, and a wonderful 10 years, and looking forward to more.
Thanks, Chandra, first of all, for coming and blessing us here. And then, as Chandra said, these are really good old memories, right? 2004 to 6, post-dinner meetings. Then interspeech, we worked together like crazy. I think I remember the interspeech landing page video. I remember making it in the MR room where we brought, got some music from online, got some pictures and embed them. And then making, many of you, I think Karthik also was part of that, student, we had a pool of students in the MMCR, we put them and then go through all the papers, not sure whether you recall. So essentially all of our lab members, both, and then in the morning I was talking about Spectrum to Spire, that in the beginning we had some pictures from 2015 having, I'll show you some of those, that was great. So it has been a wonderful journey, and Chandra has been always supportive in, going together, helping hand. So great to have you, and thanks for your words.
Thank you, sir. So this ends our panel session. Thank you all for joining us on stage. We truly appreciate your time, and we really look forward for this engaging session. I would request you all to please go take back your seats.